Is this a poor man's custom shop, or is this a Vintera that they're just trying to get a little extra money out of you? Welcome to launch day on the Fender Vintera 2 limited edition Road Worn. This is a super exciting day. Beautiful, exciting guitar. This thing just showed up. Here's some of my first reactions when I opened this just on 2 days ago, on Saturday. No one knows how to make days more special than Fender, and in this box is the brand new Fender Vintera 2 limited edition Road Worn Stratocaster. I have to see this thing. It's a nice case. There it is. Black with a mint guard. It's got the sticker over the bridge because there's a little screw inside there. It's a good feeling switch. Let's see. Adrian did a good job, but there's 4 signatures. So the 4 people at least had to look over this thing and make sure that it was up to the name that's on the headstock. It's a good feeling guitar. I can feel a little bit of the frets on the side there. Not quite. Like it's not an American Pro or the Pro 2. Those are just so perfectly rounded over. This one I can still feel a good bit of the frets on the side. The bridge seems to be a little bit high. First impressions, it's pretty. It's good. I like the checking. It's very, very subtle. Very, very subtle. This feels like the old kind of closet classics. Like there's no fret, there's no like wear. There's no relicking. It's just if this thing was older and had a little bit of checking. This is the Fender limited edition, so this is not for everybody. This is for a very special group of people that want a super cool, high-spec, vintagey kind of guitar. So let's talk about this thing, where it falls in the lineup. It's not a standard, it's not a Players, it's not a Players Plus, it is not a Vintera 2, it is somewhere between the Vintera 2 and the American Vintage. Is this a poor man's custom shop, or is this a Vintera that they're just trying to get a little extra money out of you? I don't think it's either of those things. I'm Jeremy, this is Guitar Hunter. Let's talk about the Fender Vintera 2 limited edition Road Worn Stratocaster 1960s. And now I've had this guitar for a couple days, I've played it, I've thought about it, and I want to talk about this thing. Let's talk about the specs and what this thing is first, and then I'll give my opinions on what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and if you're in the market for this kind of thing, is this a thing that you should consider? I will lead with the fact that this is so cool. Every guitar that Fender is putting out now is as good as the old series above it used to be. So the old Mexican standard is now as good as the Indonesian made standard series. The Player series is now as good as the old American standards. The Vintera 2 is now as good as the old American vintage. It's all just this mismatched. If you've been in the guitar game for a while, you see one thing really clearly. Everyone is getting better guitars at better prices. So this guitar, let's talk about this thing. Lightly relict, nitrocellulose lacquer finish. That's the main thing people are going to want to hear. Now, it doesn't feel relict. It does feel like a closet classic. Has a little bit of checking, but there's no particular wear. What is this guitar top to bottom? First of all, it's an alder body, and over that is a nitrocellulose lacquer finish. Now, that finish also has some light finish checking in it, which just gets you a couple years down the road into cool, feels used, feels taken care of, feels vintage. Very cool. That's the custom shop kind of component. The neck also has some signs of, I wouldn't say wear. There's like play wear. It's a little lighter in places, but there's no particular relicking. It doesn't feel like this guitar has been beat up and dragged behind a truck, but it does feel like someone has played this guitar and loved this for a while. Closed gear, the vintage style tuners, the amber headstock, the pre-CBS style headstock here. The logo is more early 60s. Now, one thing that did stick out to me that's interesting about this guitar is that this is a 60s Strat with a maple board. Now, if you know, it would have been a custom option if it was during the 60s. If there was a maple board in production, it probably would have been from 1967, so that would be a CBS era. Different logo, different headstock. So this guitar, and what I have to remember about Vintera is the Vintera series has never tried to be reissues. They are trying to be pulling vibes and cues from an era of that guitar. That doesn't bother me the way that it used to. And so I totally get where this guitar is coming from. So with all that said, let's talk about what I like about this guitar. I think that this guitar, the first thing that captured me is the neck on this guitar. It is this big, beautiful C-shaped neck. It is so comfy and so wonderful. I mean, it's big. It's a big C-shaped neck. The other things that I really, really love about this guitar is the finish itself and just the general feel of this guitar. It feels like it's an old, worn-in, hand-me-down Strat from somebody, and I am really into that. I particularly like the black finish. It's hard to film, it's hard to take photos of, but as someone who has loved old black Strats, that's my old Tom DeLonge. That's a Squire Tom DeLonge from 2001 that I got when I was 14. There's something to me about a black Strat that is just so cool. Now, I also, as I've grown and changed as a player, I really love maple fingerboards. I love the look of them. I love the feel of them. And there's just something about that snappy feeling that happens when you play them that just, to me, man, I don't know, Strats and Tellys, they're just better with maple necks. Now, this guitar is not perfect. No guitar would be perfect. My first impressions of the finish and my critique of the Road Worn series in the past, because the Road Worn has been around for a while, my critique has been that I think that they're a bit heavy-handed. It's a bit costumey, and it feels like a guitar is cosplaying as a vintage guitar. So on this guitar, I think if I had to pick something that I also just think is a little... anyway, being a purist, being a vintage guy, whatever, the neck on these guitars, the neck feels great, but just looking at it, it's a little, I don't know, like the finish is a little too matte. It's not gloss on the top. The playwear is just, it seems to be kind of sprayed on. See this kind of different color. So to me, if I had to critique anything on this guitar, it is the aesthetic of the neck. That's it. I mean, that's all I have. But listen, this is a limited edition. I've thought about this for the last couple days. This guitar is a limited edition, so it's not going for everybody. This crowd is a pretty small. If you want a guitar that feels and looks like an American vintage with some wear on it, or maybe even a custom shop, man, this thing has that locked in. If you wanted something that is more period correct, if you want a reissue, you can just spend more money and get into the American vintage. Now, the finish itself, I think, is really cool. It has this little bit of wear, and some of that stuff, I was wiping this guitar off today because I was like, oh, it's kind of dirty, but I realized that's just how this guitar came to me. I've really taken care of it and tried to make sure that it doesn't look like it has been dirty or used, but this thing, it has just that little bit of feeling of being almost kind of vintage and kind of checked up. Tone thoughts. I think this guitar, I think the neck pickup, I mean the neck pickup on a Strat pickup is my favorite pickup. That front neck position is just so jangly, and you get that full, just like flood of overtones. It's just my favorite. I would listen to that with a bunch of reverb on repeat. If I was just wearing headphones as a soundtrack to my life, walking the dog, taking kids to do stuff, going to the grocery store, that's what I would listen to. Now this guitar also has a really, really profoundly Telecaster sounding twangy bridge pickup. I usually think that the worst pickup on a Strat is the bridge pickup. I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't think that's a controversial take, but this one has more twang, more bite, and it's really fun. The biggest positions that are growing on me on a Strat are the 2 and the 4. That quacky, out of phase, funky, early 90s tone, I used to really not like it, but it's really growing on me. That middle position on a Strat is the most overlooked Strat position. I've heard a thing with John Mayer recently saying that he's playing this a lot more. If you want to grab a guitar like this, I'm going to put some links in the description down below. Please check out those links. They are affiliate links, so if you use those, I get a small commission, and that's how the world goes round, and Jeremy the Guitar Hunter still gets to hunt guitars and make these videos for you. So thanks for all your support. I cannot believe that I get to do this. One thing that Fender has brought to us with the Road Worn series is an unbelievable level of relic or aged parts that you need to know about. If you like modifying, tweaking guitars, they're one of the best options out there. The Road Worn strap buttons, I know this is such a nerdy thing, but hey, if you're here, you're probably into the nerdy stuff. The Road Worn strap buttons, I have bought these by the dozens because they're really good quality, they're aged, they're made really well, and the screw is a really high quality. If you like modifying and tweaking stuff, it's a pretty much a no-brainer. The other thing that's really awesome that they're doing so well is all of the string trees are available in the Road Worn series. All of the tuners, you can also get the tuners from a dealer. They're good prices too. So for me, it's been a kind of a no-brainer. I think one of the ways that we've benefited the most in the guitar world from the Road Worn series existing period is just higher quality, aged looking parts for everybody, and at pretty much all Fender dealers. Culminating my thoughts. What do I think about this guitar? Should you buy this guitar if you're in the market? Now, like I said, this is a limited edition and it's a special run of a really successful guitar line. If you are like me and you don't like the Road Worn component of this, you get to save a couple $100 and you get to get a Vintera 2, which I think the Vintera 2, especially the Strats, man, they are so good. If you want something that is a proper reissue, if you want something that's like full-on specs 1960, get the American Vintage 2 1960 Strat. I've actually owned 2 of those at this point. They've just come into my life. And both of those are incredible. I mean, they are better than the custom shop was in the early 2000s. Like I said, everything that Fender has touched in the last little bit has gotten better for better prices than they used to be. Well done, Fender. I'm Jeremy, this is Guitar Hunter. Thanks for watching this video. Please tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Am I wrong? Am I right? I get less of those comments saying that I'm right, but I'm glad that y'all watched this video. Thanks to Fender for sponsoring this video and sending me this guitar. Man, go fill the world with music and friendship. We got a lot of work to do in 2025 to fill the world with music and friendship.